Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Casper. And honestly, guys, there's really no introduction for Casper the Friendly Ghost because she is a beautiful one. I mean, honestly speaking, in terms of, all of my holdings, I would say Casper has probably been one of the most interesting holds. First off, perfect entry points, not to blow my own whistle or anything like that, but I've told you guys about those entry points as well. It was almost a near perfect entry before the major moves up, but also, right now we are still seeing Bitcoin kind of take a little bit of a dive. Okay, we're still seeing around, 53K, 52K. It's totally fine. I think, realistically speaking, we could be seeing Bitcoin kind of test the September highs, which is around the 48K to 50K mark. I'm totally fine with that. I'm honestly not worried about it at all. In fact, for anybody who wants to get into Casper, you might be getting a little bit of a buy opportunity, but who knows, because she is so strong. But before we fully jump into this video, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and I do greatly appreciate it. But in terms of Casper, we are down about 10.50%. Trade volume is up about 6.5%, totally fine. In fact, in terms of the price, the price right now is very significant on the chart. We're going to be talking about that in this video, but I suspect that we're going to be seeing a lot more movement on this asset once we do stabilize a little bit on Bitcoin. I think a lot of people are right now kind of fearful on Bitcoin. They think that we're in a bear market. They think that Bitcoin's topped. We're going to 14K, if you will, from 69K. But overall, I don't think that that's the base point here. I think that we are going to see a little bit of an extended move in the markets all the way into Q1 and Q2 of 2022, possibly, which I think is very bullish for, Casper as well, because we do still have a lot of updates yet to have released on Casper. So overall, I'm still very bullish on Casper. I'm not selling anything, to be honest with you guys. I'm not, trying to jump out, or I'm not fearful or anything like that. I have like zero emotion right now towards this market, and especially towards this drop in price. Like, we're seriously down about like 6.59%, and people are freaking out. Like, I don't know. It's just comical to say the least. But with that in mind, before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to let you guys know, for anybody who does want to get my trading indicators, my exit plans, all that kind of stuff, you guys could do so on NCashOfficial.com. The best deal for your buck, of course, is the Ultimate Crusade Trading Bundle Pack, which does include everything on the website as well as all future content for free. And it is on sale 35% off right now until the end of this month. So if you guys are interested, links are down in the description below as well as in the comments below. But with that in mind, let's move on. So we do have a little bit of a tweet from Kevin Cage. We're going to go through a little bit of tweets, and then we're going to look at the charts. So we do see here, which would you rather buy? Casper only 282% up from the bottom, or Dogecoin 230,000% up from the bottom? And of course, we do see here Casper's low, about 5 cents, up about 282%. Now, of course, this was at the current price of about 19 and almost a half cents. In my mind, I think that Casper has a lot of growth left in the ecosystem, and we do see here the all-time high is like $1.33. Of course, if we're going off of what TradingView tells us, we do know that the all-time high could be around $4 to $7, so all the way up to like $40 to $66. It's pretty crazy to say the least. But I think that this could do some very exciting moves, and I think that this could make a lot of people, some very interesting profits as well. Now, of course, in terms of a lot of these assets, yeah, I mean, Dogecoin, it's like, it's one of those things where I'd buy Casper over Dogecoin even if I can go back in time, because I know that the gains are there. But overall, in my opinion, I think just Casper and a lot of these utility tokens are much better. Overall, would I invest into Dogecoin, make the profit, and then pretty much swap it into Casper? Yeah, 100%. But I'm just saying, overall, at the current market, I look at Casper as one of those, legitimate coins that has a ton of upside potential. And in my mind, when we're talking about things like this, where we are like worried about buying in after the latest rally, considering the long-term potential of the Casper network, looking back in years from now, 10, 20, 30 cents, or even 50 cents will look cheap. Imagine debating about buying Bitcoin years ago after it pumped from $10 to $30. And that's essentially what it is. We're still buying something that's very undervalued. Casper, in my mind, is extremely undervalued. I know that Bitcoin's kind of making some waves to the market. A lot of people don't want to put their money into anything. They want more so validation on the low being in. Realistically speaking, that's not how, you're going to fully succeed in this market, because Casper, in my opinion, has been one of those altcoins that has held up very strong against Bitcoin. And when we do get into a little bit of a relief rally, Casper's going to explode in my opinion. But of course, yeah, go ahead, wait till the validation's in if you want to. That's totally fine if you want to play that little bit of a risk game. In my opinion, I think a lot of people are realizing Casper right now. They are pretty much buying it right now because they understand what it is. They understand what it's doing. That's why I think that our entry points were very perfect, because nobody really was talking about it besides a select few. Shout out to Kevin Cage and XRP Owl. But in my opinion, at the current point, we are fighting the 702 to hold as major support on the daily. As you guys do see here, it's a little bit of a higher low that we're pretty much printing on the chart. In my opinion, if we could hold the 702, if Bitcoin can kind of stabilize a little bit here and not go too much lower, I think the 702 fib level could hold as major support, and I think that we could be targeting 24 cents again. But of course, we do have to break over the 786, find support there, and then retest 24 cents. And then I think that we could potentially break 24 cents and target 28.5 cents to really kind of gain some traction up there. But of course, we have to wait for that to be validated. And of course, instead of looking at the USDT pair, let's look more so at the Bitcoin pair, because we are still very strong on the Bitcoin pair. We have found some significant support on the 0.5 fib level. Like I said, if you guys do want to use the top of these candles more so, you could pretty much see where that major support is. It's at around the 702 fib level exact, at about almost 344 sats. I know a lot of people don't like to go off of the tops of these candles. I like to go more off of the wicks up here, but this is more so the logical way to look at it. We're seeing some resistance on the chart. We're seeing the 786 kind of be a little bit of resistance, but nothing too crazy there. Overall, we're kind of bouncing between the 702 and the 786 on the chart, realistically speaking, or you could go off of the one fib level. But in my opinion, I still think that the Bitcoin pair looks extremely strong, especially compared to the USDT pair. So I think once this kind of breaks a major point, pretty much that fib level up here at about like 420 sats, realistically 420, let's go. But overall, no, I mean, realistically speaking, I think that we are more so ready to go. We are breaking a little bit below the 702 currently. We could be testing support again, going all the way back down to this candle wick at about 18 cents exact. But overall, I still think that Casper looks fairly good in terms of the price. Now, we have been seeing a lot of case studies being released. In my opinion, if you guys are holding Casper and you guys are, kind of wondering where we could go in terms of price, definitely look into their ecosystem, partnerships and what they are building within the Casper network. First off, IPWE case study is pretty interesting. This is very good for, pretty much major patent registries and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, and I think that this is a great partnership. And again, even Metacask as well, NFT marketplaces, that's insane in terms of the NFT adoption. We are going to be seeing this pretty much grow as well. Of course, WiseKey. I know a lot of people have been looking into Wise. First off, it's more so an NFT platform, but it's very unique in the way that it's actually kind of being built out. Like I said, you guys could download these white papers, look more into these use cases, and really kind of see what they are doing. Now, the Casper Highway is very interesting. I actually do have a little bit of an article that I do want to read to you guys talking about the highway, because it actually does provide a ton of value for the ecosystem. And of course, trail of bit security audit as well, which is nothing too crazy. If you do want to look into the audits, you guys can. Very transparent team, first off. But of course, in terms of the network highway consensus protocol, so similar to the Hashgraph protocol and stuff like that we looked into in the past, the highway protocol is very interesting in the way that it helps the ecosystem kind of prosper ahead of Ethereum in a sense, right? Because it does allow for scalability and it does allow for a lot better performance over Ethereum. But here's the overview. So first off, BFT, which I know that we've talked about asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance in the past in terms of HBAR, but this is just BFT, which is still pretty good. It's not the highest grade, security like HBAR, but still this is pretty cool because generally speaking, this describes resilience against an attacker controlling an unknown but limited subset of the network's nodes. Now we do see our BFT consensus models assume that less than 1/3 of the nodes within a network are dishonest. Under the assumption of two-third honesty, BFT blockchains can operate securely over time and maintain an immutable, verifiable history of transactions. So it's pretty secure overall, and I think that this is pretty cool in terms of comparing it to Ethereum. But we do see here first, Highway enables the network to reach higher thresholds of finality. Second, it achieves flexibility in a way not possible in typical BFT models. And of course, here's their finality. A lot of what's happening within this ecosystem, utilizing this Highway consensus or protocol, is going to provide a lot more value over Ethereum. This is why I talk about this being essentially Ethereum 3.0. And we are seeing here, this paper includes the most insight into the Highway protocol, including explanations of DAGs and ghost rule, voting, finality, weighted consensus, and more. If I was you guys, I would read pretty much everything about Casper, especially if you guys do plan on holding it even short-term and long-term, to really understand the value behind this asset, because this truly is very undervalued. And of course, we did see some updates today from Friendly Market 321, and we are live. Head over to Friendly Market Swap to try out our AMM, or Automated Market Maker, on Casper Network testnet. And of course, this actually does look pretty cool. It's actually very easy. You just connect your wallet and boom. This is pretty cool. And I honestly, in terms of the UI, it looks very, very cool. I like how clean it is. I like how fun it is. Again, a lot of the stuff that is built within this ecosystem is very interesting. I'm going to talk more so a lot about Friendly Market tomorrow in a video, because I do want to discuss to you guys about what's happening within that, entire ecosystem for Friendly Market. Of course, it's all built on the Casper network, so a lot of that stuff in terms of value is going to bleed within in Casper, and it's going to provide a lot of value within Casper as well. And we do see here, Casper is coming. We've been talking about this for a very long time, but what is Ethereum 3.0? Ethereum 3.0 equals Casper. I know that you guys are probably pretty annoyed within, me saying that, hey, Casper is Ethereum 3.0. But realistically speaking, we do see our technology in real life will merge. Enterprises will have a great advantage with Casper technology. Casper Labs will bring deep technical knowledge of Web 2 to the Web 3 world. Can you hear loud sounds? Casper is coming. And here you guys do see Casper Labs advancing the Web 3.0 ecosystem. This is going to provide a ton of value for a lot of different industries within this scene. I've talked to you guys about Web3 and how huge it's going to be at a $140 trillion plus market cap. And in terms of the overall end goal for Casper, in my mind, is 100x. Okay, when we're talking about like a $10 Casper, I think that it's very possible, and I'm very excited to see this kind of unfold, this overall ecosystem, because in my mind, Casper is just so undervalued compared to most of the layer ones within the scene. And in my mind, I think that the ecosystem is set for disruption. I think that it's going to grow and grow and grow. I think a lot more, opportunities are being pretty much prospered in, especially considering the fact that a lot of people are kind of tired of utilizing Ethereum. They are more so seeing Ethereum more so being unusable due to the higher prices and the higher gas fees that come with those higher prices per Ethereum. Now, of course, with that, is Ethereum going to die out and be replaced? Honestly speaking, we don't know about if it's going to be replaced at some point in time, but I do believe that Ethereum is here to stay around for a few years to come. But I do think that, when we look back on, things in time, and maybe, by the next bull run, I think the top 10 is going to look extremely different, and I believe that Casper will most likely be within the top 10 by that time, especially if they continue to move as fast as they have been. And like I said, it looks very strong on the USDT pair as well as the Bitcoin pair. Like I said, we could be retesting about 17.5 cents to 18 cents. So if you do want to look into buying more of it, definitely look at those entries. But of course, I don't think that Bitcoin's going to go down too much further from here. I think we're fairly limited on the Bitcoin pullback. I know a lot of people are pretty much panicky right now. If we're looking at Bitcoin, I have a few targets set on the board right now. I know that the charts on here are very weird. Like, this is already saying that we're on December 4th, but we did see us peak down below the 52K point, which that's been the target for a fairly long time. But what we just tested is the September highs, which in my mind is really not too crazy. In terms of the September lows, those are all the way down here. So, and that's at 40K. But yeah, in my mind, I think that we could test about 48K. So if we do test these levels at about 48K to possibly even 50K, we don't have to dip down too much further. I think that a lot of the liquidity that's already been targeted is pretty much fair game. I think that we're pretty much almost at the bottom stage. From our current high, or all-time high, I should say, to the level that we're at now, or the level that we've seen today, was about a 25% pullback, which is really not much, especially if we look back on time. But if we do come back down to 48K, it's like about a 30% drop, which I know is fairly significant for a lot of people. On the weekly, we do see pretty much the perfect almost test of those highs that we set back in September. Like I said, at about that 52K mark, we dip down just a little bit more, but it's totally fine. If we do come down a little bit lower, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think that the lows are very close to being in. So, pay attention to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is your friend if you guys do want to get Casper on the low end, but I've been trying to buy Casper at my price targets, and they've never been hit because of how strong it is. Not a bad thing, not a bad complaint either. But with that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are. And just beautiful. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.